will we as humans progress to the new Earth?
Fifth density is very much the theme, although I've talked to a number from 7 to 9 year olds that have explained that, some beings only go as far as the 6th density, and that's often the grey beings. This young 7-year-old explained to me, but he said he can go to the 9th dimension, and that they have the ability to go to these other dimensions through portals. And one of them said to me that he does that if he knows the planet's mathematical number. He uses the runes as a portal through to the planet, and he explained that as long as he knows their mathematical number, which is frequency, then he can go there. So it doesn't appear a lot of the time that they are trapped as many of us older models feel in this density, because for them it's a lot freer, it's a lot more open. And some of them have talked about coming from other dimensions anyway. One 10-year-old told me he came through a portal in the sun. That was where he came from. And another young man who was an artist explained to me that part of his job was with his art is it acted as a perceptual trigger, so that when people looked at his art, it would trigger an awakening, a more perceptual opening to the greater realities and the different dimensions and what have you. So, there's little bits from everyone that I talked to, but the 12-year-old explained to me who'd left the consciousness activating technology on the moon, said we'd been to this point 3 times, believed that this time it was very positive that we will make that transition. That's how he understood it. So, it's interesting. Some also talk about the fact that whatever happens on this planet, if it's in terms of natural disasters, that there will be the star family that will come and assist with that, to assist those that are meant to transition to the new planet, will be part of that, assisting. It was a 7-year-old explaining there were pink ET beings that actually helped you do that. She said they're pink. So there you go. We have to try and understand they don't always have the language to explain exactly what they've been told.
And so do they talk about DNA? Do any of the older children talk about that? What do they say?
DNA comes up quite a bit, and there have been children that have talked about the scientists that on the ships that work with DNA. But I always remember this 8-year-old explaining to me, a lovely young lady who explained that a couple of nights before she'd had this experience where she was taken initially to a planet where she was shown how to levitate and how to use her third eye. And then she said, they took me and showed me genetic engineering, Mary. And they explained how they engineer different species for different planets and in different parts of the solar system. So she explained a kind of seeding of different genetic mixes of different species, and it was very clear that there was different species that they would perhaps adapt and change. And many of those that I've spoken to that believe they're hybrids and connect to being hybrids explain about their genetic origins from other places, and they will say, my origin's Pleiades or Arcturus or Orion or whatever, or I come from another dimension, and I've come into this dimension because I've got a job to do. And it seems like various star systems and origins have certain abilities that they bring to the planet to help this planet in this shift. And one of them was this 10-year-old explained to me he was a center seed. This was his first time on this planet. He picked a mother who had been on this planet many times to help him. And he said he was a blue being, but as a center seed, first time on this planet, he was connecting to the center of the planet. And he said, my job is to help with all the pollution on this planet.
Wow.
So that was primarily
That's
his main
amazing.
focus, was that. Whereas I spoke to an 8-year-old here in Australia who said that his ancestors were the mantis beings, and that when he died, he would go back to his ancestors, which is the mantis beings. And he communicated with animals, and he said, I'm here to help people understand how to treat animals with respect. So that his job was, in fact, to create that trans-species communication or whatever. So many of them have a really clear mandate into why they've come to this planet in the first place, and what their abilities are. Many of them are extremely empathic and come with the ability to heal as well. This is being one of the things that they will explain is part of their mandate, why they come here, as part of what's going to happen in the future too. A 17-year-old explained to me he was an ecological engineer from Arcturus,